You drove on it recently?
Cool, that's perfect.
Yeah.
If you could just put that in my pocket for me, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was quite impressed by the
Do you want a bit of tape?
No,
it's okay. Perfect. Can you give us a count to 10 for us?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Perfect. I'm already done for breakfast this morning.
Well, I haven't had any breakfast.
No breakfast this morning. Okay, cool. It's perfect.
Good, great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Round table conversation, same group as last year, we all know each other.
Yeah, it's tricky.
So nice
It's
relaxed
tricky
conversation.
to-
Morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Morning.
All good. We're a few minutes away from going down to do our launch. So we'll head downstairs shortly. We'll meet up with Toto. We'll be just at the side of the stage, and our two presenters, Natalie and Naomi, will intro you on. So I'll send you onto stage. There'll be a semicircle of chairs, and if you're looking at the chairs, the order will go Natalie, Naomi, then Mick, you're next to Naomi, then George, then Lewis, then Toto. All right. The first part of the show is a bit of an interview with you guys.
Could you try?
Bit of an interview with you guys. After that, we go into our launch sequence that we just recorded of the car, and then all the action is down by the car after that. So Toto will go up first for a chat with the presenters by the car, and then you guys will follow after. But I'll let you know when and where to stand, all right? So we're a few minutes away. Relax for a moment, and I'll take you down in a bit, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like the constant struggle, really, trying to get that model right. And
Yeah.
was you driving in Bahrain?
Barcelona.
Barcelona, okay.
And then I did the national track in Silverstone. I got down to like Margaret's Beckett. I saw a wall. I was like, okay, yeah, it's probably just so you don't cut, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
somebody went
it's
to
just
the right. I was
like-
like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a short track.
It is actually.
Yeah.
We're both on open.
No, but I think it's better
Great
than
stuff,
the
fantastic.
one we did last year.
Yeah, that's all good for now. That's all good for now.
2:15.
Yeah, couple of minutes to go. And we'll just get you in on the side of set.
So what's the seating order again?
So seating order, we'll have Natalie and Naomi on the outside, then and we'll bring Mick in, followed by George. So
2 minutes
yeah,
to
Mick,
launch, 2
George,
minutes.
Lewis, and then we'll have you on the outside.
Okay.
So a little bit of a round table, and then when we get to the other end, we'll do the launch. You'll come down the runway.
Yeah.
So it'll be you and the presenters first.
Yeah.
A little bit of chat with you. You can introduce Mike and Hal. So you'll leave set,
1
they'll
minute
come
45. 1 minute 45.
on, and then drivers will come in and do the end, and then we'll just do a final part where you can do a little word to the audience and the fans on this end. So we'll kind of get you at this end to do your final little part to camera. So
Got it, okay.
so yeah,
That's a minute and a
Yeah.
half to the launch. Minute and a half.
man.
All right, so
Okay.
we're ready for you.
Great. Okay. Have a good one. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah.
Wanna follow me? Off we go.
Yeah, off we go. How you feeling?
So far, good. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Guys.
We're just around this.
Yeah.
As close in as possible.
Can I get my ring? It's Toto.
Yeah.
It's Toto at the top, and then drivers know how long a mic.
Ooh, nice new shoes.
I've got them.
You know who these shoes are? You know who the shoes are from?
No. What do you mean? 1 second.
They forgot my shoes for the photo shoot,
Okay.
so I like them. They were under your.
It's better look.
They were under your
Than the
rack.
loafers.
Much better.
I like the loafers.
Yeah, you two would like work the same.
Toto gives me all of this.
The internal one starts with the walk there.
Here we go.
So two presenters and Toto.
We are.
They're expensive loafers, aren't they? They're like ridiculous.
I think we're on camera, but
Holy sh!
Hello and welcome to the official launch of the Mercedes-AMG PETRONAS F1 W14 E Performance, live from the home of British motorsport, Silverstone.
The first race of 2023 is just 18 days away, and over the next 30 minutes, we're going to be looking ahead towards the new season, discussing all the developments made during this winter and welcoming a familiar face to the Mercedes-AMG team.
Plus, of course, as mentioned, most excitingly, we're going to be casting our eyes for the first time over the brand new W14 car with insight from the incredible team that have brought it all together.
But first, I think it's time that we welcome some very important people to join us. Team Principal and CEO Toto Wolff, and your drivers for 2023, reserve driver Mick Schumacher, Grand Prix winner George Russell, and 7-time world champion Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Welcome. Hello. How are you? Great to see you.
Likewise.
Happy birthday, George.
Happy
Thank you very much. Thank you very
birthday.
much.
We get a cheer for George's birthday. Happy birthday. Toto, 2022 was clearly an eventful season. Some races you were fighting to get out of Q1 and others, Brazil, 1-2. How do you reflect on it and what lessons have been learned?
I think when I look back, overall it was a difficult season. It was that we started with a car that was really not good, and we tried to figure out what happened, and it was difficult at times. But also managing your own emotions, because we had races that were pretty encouraging, like Barcelona, and then you go back to some tracks where the car didn't perform at all. So the learning is, I think we have a better understanding for what happened with the car. The personal learning is, how to cope with the season that overall wasn't very successful, and obviously towards the end, the car got quicker, and finally George and Lewis were able to drive something that was a little bit more predictable, and we had some highlights like the one that you mentioned in Interlagos.
Absolutely. Now, Lewis, as Toto mentioned, it was an intense season, to say the least. So is 2 months enough of a break? I mean, are you feeling recharged and ready to go back at it again?
I mean, you look great.
Oh, thank you. No, I think for all of us, we always miss driving. So the break initially feels too short. And then when you get towards the end of it, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go, get back into the action. So, but I definitely maximized and enjoyed it.
Excellent, good to hear.
Great to hear, yeah.
22 was obviously your debut season with the team, George. 275 points, 8 podiums, a maiden pole, maiden win. I mean, that's actually pretty good going, considering the challenges that you were up against. How do you reflect on it?
Yeah, I think if you mentioned that at the start of the year, that they would be the figures, we'd have probably been pretty disappointed with that. But knowing how the season panned out, knowing the challenges we had with the car, I think we can be pretty proud of the job we did. And there were a lot of positives to take away from that season. The reliability of the car was great. The strategy on many occasions was really, really strong. And I think, like Toto said, the personal learnings we all went through, the technical learnings, that's all gone into the car that's sat just across from us right now. And hopefully we've taken a step up.
So what does that mean for this year? What goals are you setting yourself?
I mean, we're all here to win. I mean, it's as simple as that. And we need to go out there. We need to see what the challenges we are facing with. But the team have put so much hard work into this car. The motivation and the fire within the factory is just immense, because people don't want to repeat of what happened in 2022. So we're ready for it, and we're motivated to go out there and fight.
Well, the motivation certainly sounds very high. Now, Lewis, with you from the outside, it always seems like that desire remains the same. But I want to know, how bright is that fire inside of you right now? And maybe what keeps fueling you? I mean, you're starting your 11th season with this team.
I know, I've been here a long time. I don't know, I think it's the combined energy of all the individuals in the team. I love being a part of a team that's working towards a common goal. I continue to love racing. I think that's never going to change as a part of my DNA. And I just always believe that I can get better. I just always love that challenge of the mental and the physical element of it, of just having to deep dive and see how you can extract more performance from yourself, from the people around you, from the car that's constantly evolving. It's not the same car every year. It's always changing. There's always new tools, always a new logbook that you have to get used to, and I love that. So, planning to stay a little bit longer.
Scary thought that Lewis Hamilton gets better, right?
Yeah, well,
Scary
there you go. There is opposition anyway. Mick, great to see you. Welcome to Mercedes-AMG. The kit certainly suits you. What are you looking forward to in 23, and how much do you think these guys are going to enjoy racing this new car?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they'll enjoy it a lot. Obviously, I'll be a bit on the sidelines this year, but I'll do my best and do the utmost work I can do to support them. Obviously, also on track side, be present, have a look at the videos, and try and see if there's anything I can spot. And yeah, I think for myself, I'm really here to learn, try and take as much on board for myself, and yeah, put that into work then in the future.
Great. Toto, some new talents in the team, but a new season always means a new start. So can you tell us a little bit about where the mindset of the team is right now, and if there maybe are any challenges you foresee going into it?
Yeah, first of all, a sentence about Mick. I think Mick is such a great part of the team now, because we have a driver that's actually been in the car the last couple of years, that knows the tires, that knows what the ins and outs of last year's regulation, and being able to have two eyes out there on the track looking at those cars, feed it back in, is really super valuable apart from the sim work. So I hope these guys don't have a fish poisoning, but in any case, you deserve to be in a car.
I don't eat fish anyway, so.
You're not in a,
The merits of being vegan.
avocado poisoning. Yeah, so that's great. So back to your question, what was it?
Where is the
Yeah,
mindset
sorry,
of the
Naomi.
team right now, and are there any maybe challenges going into it?
It's clear that we've seen the car now and we're contemplating, is she fast or not? Have we cured some of the problems? What are going to be the challenges that we spot on track? And that is a bit big unknown. But I guess there's more positive, there is excitement. I think we have the tools to understand, we have the tools to grow and develop the car and hopefully give George and Lewis something that works.
Starting here today, how excited do you still get about shakedowns like today? You still got a bit of goosebumps?
This is the most exciting part of the year. Like, just where you know, being at the factory this past week, seeing from the tub to all these small elements coming together, come out of different parts of the factory, and you see it come together, and everything fits so beautifully, and you just stand in awe of just seeing how amazing the designers are, the engineers, how much detail they go into when you look into where the engine compartment, how it all fits in perfectly, the uprights, the wing, everything. And then there's the other day I kind of freaked myself out. You know, there's almost 8 billion people in the world, and there's only 20 of us that get to do this. And there's only 2 of us that get to drive for this team. So we are so privileged, you know, beyond measure. So yeah, this is the most exciting time for sure to see, especially with all the difficulties we had last year.
Yeah.
We're all anxious to get out there and see.
I bet.
See
how
what
it
you've
behaves.
got.
Yeah, exactly. And also to see where everyone else is. You know, we see the pictures of people launching their cars, and you start to zoom in and see kind of what they've got, but we won't find out till next week exactly what everyone's got up their sleeve.
Well, only 18 days until the first race, so you don't have to wait
I mean, that's
too much
crazy,
longer.
isn't it? That's soon.
It is.
Crazy, yeah.
So, exciting time for the team today. But Toto, it seems like a really exciting time for Formula One at the moment. I mean, we've got some new faces on the grid, we've got new teams wanting to join Formula One, and we've got exciting locations like Las Vegas on the grid, on the calendar this year, rather. What would you put the growth of the sport down to, and just how excited are you about that?
It's never one single component. I think we've seen some great racing competition. 2021, the rivalry between Lewis and Max, and Netflix has played its part in the US. Certainly, we've attracted new audiences, very young, a lot of females, and I think all of that has come together. Obviously, the young drivers now also being in competitive cars. Much more social media, which was a bit prohibited in the past, and we were the first sport that raced when COVID happened. We put on a great show, and all this together has put the sport in a great spot. Nevertheless, we always need to be wary to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely.
Talking of being wary, be wary in Vegas, penultimate race of the year. We want all the engineers to make it through that casino floor into the pit lane, please. How are you going to guarantee that?
Well, they are data people, so I don't think they will gamble. The odds are against you. So.
Yep, we learned that last year.
At the launch.
At the launch, we
Did
learned
you?
that, yes.
Yeah.
Learned the hard way.
Yeah, limit your spend. The odds are against you. The probability of winning is not great.
Good values for life. We've learned a lot today, haven't we? Toto, Lewis, George, Mick, thank you very much. We'll be hearing more from you a little later. But right now, it's the time that we've all been waiting for. The reveal of the brand new Mercedes-AMG PETRONAS F1 W14 E Performance. Wow. I mean, it looks great. So come on, Toto, what's your gut feeling? Is it going to be as fast as it looks beautiful?
Well, good morning, first of all. It looks good. And I'm so happy that we've gone back also to the black livery, and we're going to talk about it in a second. Is she going to be as fast as she looks? I hope so, but definitely there is a lot of excitement in putting the car finally on the road.
Now, Toto, you mentioned it. Impossible to ignore. You've gone back to black. It looks fantastic. Now, I think that's a weight-saving thing, but it's also very reminiscent of your last very successful car, isn't it?
Exactly. When you look at where the story of the silver arrows came from, is that the Mercedes was put on track, the race car, it was white, overweight, which is a little bit of our story last year, and they scratched off the paint, and it ended up with bare aluminium, and the car made the weight. And so we came back, we really tried to get the weight off the car in every single bit, and therefore, from the paint side, we committed in gaining the grams by leaving the car matte carbon, and history repeats itself. Just in this case, it's a modern material, it's carbon and not aluminium, and it's black. And on top of that, you know, we knew why we had a black car 2 years ago, and it just came together, and it's wonderful.
Feels right, doesn't it?
Feels right.
Fantastic. Another thing that's wonderful is these lovely young people behind us.
Hello.
Like, you've got some apprentices as well as industrial placement students from Brackley and Brixworth here today, as well as some interns from your title partner, Petronas. Just how important is it for you to have these young, dynamic people working on your car?
Yeah, but you've got to look dynamic also.
Dynamic? Feeling dynamic? Good, yes, love it.
When you come on campus today, there is so many young people, and you feel the buzz, the energy and the motivation. And that's great, because those interns and industrial placements and are going to be part of the organization in a few years in more senior positions. And you can see that already today in the team. There is young people coming up into leadership positions that have actually started as interns or placements, and that's fantastic.
It really is. And how important is that continued talent development in terms of the future of the team?
An organization or a race team is never a static organ. It's not like you can freeze it and say that's successful, we're going to keep it forever. You need to continuously evolve, and that's something which we embrace in the organization. So people old like me or even older, they need to understand that somebody else will carry the baton, is going to run faster one day, and maybe it's one of these guys.
Or indeed all of them.
Love to hear that.
Or indeed all of
Yes.
them, hopefully.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Toto, as ever. Right, joining us now to discuss some of the finer details of the new car are two of the people responsible for the development of the W14. Technical Director Mike Elliott and HPP Managing Director Hal Thomas.
Hello, gentlemen.
Welcome. Good morning. How are
Thank
you?
you for joining us this morning. Now, the teams back at Brixworth and Brackley have been working tirelessly to put this car together. And I'm like, I want to understand just how much of a challenge has it been to get to where we are today?
Oh, huge challenge. I think when you look at where we were last year, I think we made some progress towards the end of the season, but we knew it was going to be a big winter. We knew we needed to dig deep. And I think it's been amazing to sort of watch the efforts both in Brackley and in Brixworth that's gone into this car. You know, a huge amount of hours, huge amount of intellectual thought to try and get to the design that we've got to, and let's hope it's a good one.
Well, the big question all the fans around the world are going to ask, it's a simple question, but perhaps not a simple answer. Is it going to bounce?
Oh, well, the easy answer is I hope not. I think when you look at the sort of the learning we took from last year, you look at the tools that we've put together, hopefully we've got all the right metrics in place to understand what we need to do to the car so it doesn't bounce, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
You guys have actually been very honest about the challenges that faced you last year. What did that do for the team mindset coming into 23?
I think the mindset that I've seen and the one that we discussed has been one about just relentless development. I mean, on the PU side, we've had constraints, more and more constraints as the regulations change. We've had, at the start of last year, a hardware freeze. At the start of this year, it's going to be a software performance freeze. And therefore, finding performance within those constraints is so much harder. And it's only through real innovation and real relentless work, relentless understanding can you bring any performance forward. And so that's the mindset I see.
Fantastic. Now, I want to know, because I'm sure that it's a challenge, just how hard is it every year to not just go back to the drawing board, start all over again, as opposed to trusting what you've got?
Good question, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you look at the periods we had huge success, obviously it's easy to take the car you've got and think, well, we just build on that. I think at times last year we were questioning ourselves and saying, you know, have we made a major mistake? Do we need to change what we're fundamentally doing? But I think we know if we go and we sort of tear it all up and start again, you know you're going to start further backwards. So it's about making those right decisions. And I think, although we had problems with the car last year, I think there's also a lot of goodness in the car. There's also a lot of things that did work for us. I think the drivers talked earlier about reliability that's been good. So I think you have to be careful, sort of not to sort of just throw it all away and start again.
Carry that momentum over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true, isn't it? You learn more from your failures, as Toto alluded to many times this year. So you must come into this year with positivity, hope, bit of confidence.
Yeah, we know, you know, Mike and I work closely together, and you know, I've seen a lot of the development that has gone on the chassis side, and I know that these guys have worked so hard on fixing the problems that they've had. I've seen the relentless development we've been doing at Brixworth. Is it going to be enough? What have everybody else done? We don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a better car than the one we had last year.
Fingers crossed for sure. Now, Mike, I understand that you know, most of the features are going to have to be kept top secret, but are there any key features of note that you can tell us about ahead of the season?
I think when you look at the cars, you look at our car, you look at some of the cars that have been released, it's all going to be in the details. It's a lot of the bits that you can't see, particularly under the floors. There's going to be a lot of development. I think some of the key bits for us, we've completely changed front and rear suspension, trying to help with the weight of the car, but also trying to help with some of the handling. You'll see there's quite significant changes in the bodywork. The core DNA is still the same, but there's quite significant changes in the bodywork. We've sort of looked at every single area and said, well, how can we improve what we've done? We looked at the problems we had last year and said, well, how do we guarantee, well, there's no guarantees, but how do we guarantee as best we can we don't have those problems this year? So it's all in the details.
Plenty of hard work.
Definitely. It sounds like a lot of hard work.
Thank you very much for your time indeed.
Thank you.
Mike and Hal. OK, I think it's about time we let the drivers back on stage for a closer look. Lewis, George, Vic, please join us. What do you think? Initial thoughts?
Excited.
Looks great. It looks great.
Looks great in black.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you guys have obviously had a taste of this car in the simulator, but Lewis, in a little bit, you're going to jump in the car for the first time for real. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, we're all excited to get back in. I mean, it's been a minute since we've, obviously, from the season, we've done a lot of work in the simulator. We got to drive the old car, but we've seen this in the works for some time now. And I remember before Christmas seeing it in the wind tunnel. And you hear about all the changes we've made, and you're just hoping that the characteristics of what we've been asking for the past, 12 months. So, yeah, I'm really, really excited. And I know everyone back at the factory has worked so hard to make this beautiful creation. So this is the most exciting time of the year when you get in for the first time, you drive out the pit lane, and you get that sense, okay, you've got the power, you've got the feeling, the mechanical balance, the aero working. That's what we're excited to see.
So, George, how do you approach a day like today? With caution? I mean, you're going to be competitive with each other, I'm sure. That's just in your DNA. Big birthday blowout?
Yeah, I think, firstly, just really excited to drive the car for the first time. I think, as Lewis said, you see it in so many different regards. You see it first on computer screens, the front wing, the rear wing, every single tiny little element. And then you see it come to life. We drive it in the simulator. And it's just such a proud moment when you see it. I mean, we both jumped in the car a couple of days ago to do the seat fit. And around the race bays, everybody's coming in to see the work that they have put in to this masterpiece. So now just going to go out there today, just make sure the car's working properly and try and set ourselves up for the test next week, because ultimately that's where we're going to find out how the car's truly performing.
Can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Very mature answer, by the way.
Mick, you've also seen, just the amount of hard work firsthand that goes into making a car like this. So tell me, how much of an appreciation have you developed for your new team?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously amazing. I mean, we're coming into one of the biggest teams. Obviously, seeing all the hard work put in. Obviously, I recently just joined, but to see the work that has gone into it and everybody working very hard to put it together, to now finally see it, and yeah, we'll hopefully get to drive it at some point, and yeah, just really excited.
Well, if hard work does translate to results, then you're in for a great year. Thank you very much indeed, Lewis, George, Mick. Great to see you as ever. Good luck today. Good luck for the whole season, in fact.
Thank you.
Now, as mentioned, George and Lewis will be taking this car around the track a little bit later, and you'll be able to follow all of that action across the Mercedes-AMG social media channels.
OK, finally, Toto, over to you for your closing thoughts for the team and, of course, all your fans watching around the world.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Naomi. It's great that we're finally ready to go. She's here. She looks great. And hopefully when we do the shakedown in an hour or so time, the car is also going to behave and be quick. So I hope you enjoyed the launch this morning. We're really happy that we could show you the real thing. And now keep your fingers crossed that the day goes well, and see you soon.
So reclined.
I really freaked myself out the other day when I was like, there's so many people in the world. There's only 2 people that get to drive this.
When you brought that stat, I was like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're so lucky. But then you guys like to drive it?
Yes. So how long have you been there?
You've driven this in? I will. You will? Oh, nice. Good.
Thank you very much, everybody, for following the day. I hope you like the car. I think it looks absolutely great. And we'll see you next week and the week after in Bahrain.